This isn't going to be a normal festival coverage video. That type of recap wouldn't do this festival justice. This is a story of a content creator from North Carolina and two of his friends, and how we decided to spread the word of MetaZoo. This is Operation Point Pleasant. I left my house around 10:30 p.m. Friday, September 16th, and drove straight there. The drive was nice with very little traffic. As I got closer to Point Pleasant and the sun started to come up, the fog was thick, super thick, perfect for a Mothman sighting. The fog was low when I crossed the bridge, and it added to the mystery of this place. I arrived around 7:30 a.m. and met up with Immortal Workshop. After discovering Blue Gatorade and Bigfoot juice was the most excellent combination, he and I embarked to find our third compatriot, Dad Hat. We had one mission, to talk to as many people as possible about MetaZoo. Think about it. Here we were, hundreds of miles from our homes, surrounded by people like us. People who loved cryptids, magic, mystery, and the unknown. Even though this was the Mothman Festival, cryptids of all kinds were represented. From Hodag to Chibi Mothman, Squonk to Krampus. I could immediately tell these people would fall in love with MetaZoo once they were introduced to it. So that's what we did. We embarked to introduce as many people as we could to MetaZoo. As we approached Main Street, it dawned on me that we had just interrupted a race, the Mothman 5K. I had no idea that this race actually took place, but it's an annual race that coincides with the Mothman Festival. We went off to the side and watched as the first few finishers finished the race. We then proceeded to walk down Main Street, watching all of the street vendors finishing up preparations for all of the people that would be there for attendance that day. And there were a lot of street vendors with very unique items. Not that many people there early in the morning, but that would quickly change. With the streets starting to fill up, we started on our mission to talk to as many people as we could about MetaZoo. We handed out over 300 booster packs that Immortal had brought with him. Everyone over at the MetaZoo booth was working overtime as well. The first day there were so many people in attendance. I heard rumors that it was record-breaking, and that makes sense if you think about it. The last festival was held in 2019, and because of COVID, the last two had to be canceled. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why the festival was such a success. You could feel the excitement. It didn't matter if this was your first year coming or your 15th. You could feel the excitement in the air. MetaZoo just added to that. People already in love with cryptids, discovering a card game that centered around that very subject. The line at the MetaZoo booth was 45 to 50 people long all day, from 8:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. It was amazing. The most incredible thing, 75% of the people in the line didn't know what MetaZoo was. There was something magical about watching someone learn about the franchise for the first time, see that spark in their eye when it clicked. So that's what we did the first half of the day, introduce everyone we saw to MetaZoo. We of course stopped for lunch, and I was finally able to get my Mothman burrito. Not only was it delicious, but it was cleverly made. Definitely worth the wait from when I was here a month before. After that, we went back out to talk to more cryptid enthusiasts about MetaZoo and to explore. Turmentic here, and today has been crazy. Tons of costumes, tons of different things about Mothman, from t-shirts to paintings to all sorts of cool stuff. Definitely had a blast. About to meet up with some of the other casters in Hyperbole, and we're gonna have a small little sealed tournament here. Mike wasn't able to get over here today, but I will say Jet killed it all day. She had a line pretty much all the way up until about 30 minutes ago, non-stop signing, talking to people. The entire staff, Dee, Bob, Ted, they just killed it here today. It's amazing to actually see this town grow the way it did. Like, coming here before seeing everything was awesome when I got to do it with Chelsea, my wife, and then come back here and the town be just literally filled. It's been amazing. But let's go over and check out that sealed tournament. It was a blast to play MetaZoo at the festival. I didn't have the best luck with my release deck and ended up losing first round. That didn't bother me though. The fact that we had played in Point Pleasant was amazing, and MetaDoom ended up taking the crown for the first Point Pleasant Invitational. Before I left, I noticed I still had CN2 packs left in my bag. So I decided to open them, and of all the odds, I pulled a full holo Mothman. My plans for day 2 had just changed. I left to get some sleep in preparation for the next day. Hello and welcome to day 2 at the Mothman Festival. As you see, there's a ton of people back there. There's Dad Hat right there waving at you. We're just gonna walk through, check out some of the stuff, and yeah. So yeah, taking another look at the Hodag car. Cool little Hodags up there. We're just gonna walk through and look at some of the vendors. Huge Hodag presence. It's awesome. That's where we got the Mothman burrito yesterday. Delicious. Super cheap also. It's huge. It's huge. Guy's a champ. He was out here all day yesterday. There's particularly one artist I'm excited to actually show you guys. He's over by the statue, but he takes old thrift store paintings and he actually paints cryptids on them. Prints right there. So yeah, as you can see, like I said, there aren't... Oh, they sold out of the Mothman ornaments and more. They're out of cake pops. As you can see though, like, we're still here pretty early. It's only about 10 o'clock or so. And there's the big old MetaZoo inflatable. Look at that. Now in order to get the promo, you have to actually take your picture in front of it. One of the things I do think was truly brilliant was how MetaZoo handled the festival promo. See, they didn't just hand out cards. What they were doing is you had to take a picture in front of the big inflatable Mothman, post it to Instagram, and tag them. And to me, that was brilliant, because it started engagement between these people and MetaZoo. It showed them how big the community was when they would post a story, and MetaZoo would share it on their story, and then other people would go through and give that photo likes. It really, honestly, in my opinion, it was brilliant. We're gonna stop over there in just a second. I'm gonna walk over here, show you all the statue real quick. Got lovely Dee and Bob right there, Ted in the background. This is the town square, I guess you would call it, in essence. Nice cool little clock tower. Line's not that long actually for a picture to be taken with the statue. Line yesterday went all the way over to there. It was kind of crazy. There was a second line actually to touch its butt too, because that's a thing. Surprised don't actually see a can. Normally there's a can of beans on the statue because of the Fallout game, but of course gonna have to show you all the shininess. So yeah, there's some more shops. This right here is the guy that I was talking about though. Artwork is amazing. And we walk over here and show you some more of these. So yeah, he just takes old thrift store paintings and he actually paints cryptids on top of them. It's amazing. Walk over here. No, I love it. Stuff is great. Actually, come over here and talk to him real quick. So I'm actually filming a segment for my channel. I wanted to, if you wanted to, like I said, favorite booth that I saw yesterday.
Oh, right on.
If you want to actually shout out your socials, tell them who you are, what you do, because everything all about this is I loved.
Oh, right on. This is Eerie Eric. We do thrift store paintings. We alter it, put cryptids in it or monsters, stuff like that. We do all kinds of conventions all along the East Coast. We're from Erie, Pennsylvania. We have Instagram, Eerie Eric 444, and Facebook is Art of Eerie Eric. So come check it out. We sell everything online too.
Checking out some more of the stuff. We're gonna walk over here to the town hall. I lost Dad hat. Oh no, there he is. He's following me. Coffee shop line will stay huge all day. And mostly coming up down this way and then down that way over there to the waterfront was just mostly food. Looks, I mean, you know, regular festival food. This commentary is stellar. It is Emmy nomination. So yeah, that's down the waterfront. We'll check out the waterfront here in a bit. Bunker 304 right here. We're gonna go check it out.
Well, literally just signed like up the road today.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even seen this. What makes this a little bit different than like
We actually deciphered the binary on it too.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping it was going to be your initials, to be honest.
I considered it.
But I understand why it's MZ.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying.
Of course.
All of the Hero Quest
Yeah,
cards.
Hollow, really popular.
I know,
Using
they
grains,
look so
like it's
great. Thank you so much for bringing it.
Alright, so one of the goals that I had was I wanted to present the museum with a Mothman card from MetaZoo, because when I was here about a month and a half ago, I realized they did not have one. So I was able to get Ted to sign this. And we're going to go over to the table and we're going to try to get everybody that's actually there at the tent to sign it. And then we're going to give it to the museum. So we got all of the signatures that we needed for the Mothman card. Really cool backstory about this. I was originally going to be planning on giving them one anyways, getting it all signed. Dad hat in the background. And Immortal Workshop was actually walking around yesterday giving out packs to everybody, and I kept finding packs in my backpack, in my pockets, all day. So I tried to give those out. I could not get all of them to go out, and then ended up actually still having about 5 or 6 in my backpack yesterday before I left. I opened them up and this is actually what was pulled. So instead of using the one that I had, I thought it would be even cooler to actually use this one, which was literally pulled in Point Pleasant. So let's go see what the museum says. So I'm actually here, amazingly, with the owner and curator of the Mothman Museum. I just went over the entire backstory of the card, and I'm going to take a second to actually talk with him and then present him the card. So,
my name is Jeff Walmsley. I'm the owner creator of the world's only Mothman Museum here on Main Street in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
So how long has the museum been in operation?
We opened the museum in 2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
The big thing that I really actually like about this museum too is that you put the distinction between the movie lore and the actual real lore of what Mothman is or was.
Right. So yeah, a lot of the stuff we have, it's almost like a research type museum. You can go in and look over the historic archives and the newspaper clippings, police reports, and then you can kind of decide for yourself. It's like I said, it's almost like Fox News. You decide. We report. We try to bring in different things that inform the person that's visiting the museum about what happened, what people were seeing, and stuff like that. So, it's a mystery that's never been solved, and that's the whole beauty of it. There were multiple witnesses. I mean, it wasn't just 3 or 4 people. There were hundreds of people, and 66 from then on, seeing stuff.
That was one of the other big things in there too, is that I didn't realize the extraterrestrial connection that some people put between Mothman and the Men in Black and things like that.
Well, there was a lot of UFO activity going on when the Mothman sighting started, and then the Men in Black were ushered in. They showed up in town. The Silver Bridge collapsed. So people kind of took all that, crammed it into a 2-year time frame, and thought maybe there's a connection here and there. But yeah, there was a lot of UFO activity going on here.
Have you actually ever seen Mothman or anything a little weird over in the TNT area?
I've never seen anything. I've never been visited by anybody like the Men in Black. I get a few strange phone calls once in a while, but I've talked to a lot of people that are pretty credible from back in the day, and I'm thinking all these people could not be making the same thing up. They didn't even know each other. It was over 100 reported sightings right off. And I always speculated it was probably another 100 to 200 unreported sightings. I talk to people all the time, elderly people who come in the museum, and they'll pull me aside and they'll say, you know what, we saw that thing, but we never told anybody. Because they didn't want to be made fun of.
One of the biggest things that I learned when I went to the museum about a month and a half ago was about Chief Cornstalk. And I am almost convinced now that I personally think that Mothman is either the reincarnated soul or the tortured soul of Cornstalk, since he was betrayed by the Americans here at the fort that was in Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
And personally, to me, that was huge because I knew nothing of Cornstalk before coming into the museum.
Right, and that's a big part of Point Pleasant's history. Some people thought that had something to do with the bridge collapse. So anything bad that happens here in Point Pleasant was Cornstalk's curse. Other people thought that it was just a sandhill crane people were seeing. There could have been a bird that got into some waste up in the TNT. It could have been somebody in a costume, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different angles, and that's the beauty of it too. Everybody has their own speculation as to what people were seeing.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Okay.
Again, I'd like to present this right here. It's a second edition Full Hollow Mothman that was pulled here in Point Pleasant to you.
Appreciate that.
For that museum.
We're going to put that in our MetaZoo display that we are currently working.
That's so exciting to hear that it's a full display.
It will be. Yeah, we'll put it right there.
Mothman is the main antagonist of MetaZoo, or one of the biggest antagonists in MetaZoo, and so, MetaZoo, the Mothman Museum, it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, it is. Appreciate it.
So thanks again.
All right, thank you.
There's something magical about this photo. You see, a month ago or so when I came here with my wife, I tried to interview Jeff, but didn't get the opportunity. But here I was, in the middle of the Mothman Festival, talking to the owner of the Mothman Museum. Not only that, but this was the first official Mothman card, as far as I'm aware, given to the museum. Now, that by itself is amazing to me, because if you stop and think about it, think of all of the tens of thousands of people who visit that museum every year and who are going to be introduced to MetaZoo now because of that card being in there. We had just made MetaZoo history, I felt. I thanked Jeff for his time in the interview and said goodbye as I set out to do my second goal of the day, hand out 10 release decks that I had brought with me, and I wanted to give them to people who did not know what MetaZoo was. So I went on YouTube Live and started walking around talking to everyone I could about MetaZoo. Of course, at one point, the live stream decided it didn't want to work, and so I had to manually record that segment.
I'm gonna have to film this the old way. I run a YouTube channel on YouTube, of course. Okay. It's called Turmentic. I cover the storyline and lore of MetaZoo. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm going around and giving out 10 release decks to people who don't know anything about it. Okay. Inside of it is a basic deck, teaches you how to play. It also has 3 different booster packs in the rule book. Okay. So I'd love to give you one, my man.
Okay. Cool. I appreciate that.
Now, if you watch the YouTube live video of me giving out the release decks, I don't focus too much on the people I was giving them to, just because I was live on YouTube. But you can hear their excitement when I start explaining what MetaZoo is. Like I said before, these were people who loved cryptids, mystery, magic, and all of that. And you could tell when I started explaining what MetaZoo was, how their interest was immediately piqued. The most amazing thing about the entire experience of giving out the release decks, though, was no one told me no. No one told me they didn't want to talk to me or anything like that. As soon as I started explaining what MetaZoo was and what the release deck was, they immediately were interested. In all honesty, it took me about 20-25 minutes to give out all of the release decks, which was amazing. I thought it was going to take me way longer. I continued to explore, said goodbye to Dad Hat, and then prepared for my first ever Instagram Live. We've gone live on Instagram before, so let me know if anything seems off. But welcome, this is Turmentic. I am here live in Point Pleasant during the Mothman Festival to rip this UFO booster box for the lucky winner of Super Galactic Games and Comics giveaway. Oh, it is better? Okay, yeah, I think I need a new mic. That mic is not the best, I've noticed. I've been using it though solid for about a good year now. So yeah, sorry about the wind. Hopefully that won't be a big problem. Yeah, let's get the ripping, because we got 36 packs here that we gotta rip. The ones that have applied, I'm still waiting on one, fingers crossed. Like, I hope that he gets it. I'm really hoping that TCG Island actually gets that partnership. I would be over the moon if that is in one of the announcements. But Immortal got it today, congratulations. Or last night, sorry, I fell asleep. Super Galactic got it today. There's been a ton of announcements with the partners. It's always fun, actually, when they do the partner announcements, in my opinion. I remember when they did them in UFO. Ooh, there it is again, see Stargate. Oh man, I don't have this one either. The Levelin Rocket Reverse. This is a really hard reverse to actually pull. Another Glistening Beach Rock. Frozen Rain Orb. Another Cryptid Busters. Wow, okay, so I might get her to sign this one instead. Oh, that's awesome. That is the misprint Ogwa that people have fought me about. You can see right there how it's the misprint. This is a little bit harder one to actually find. So I might actually see if she'll actually do both, but I'm definitely going to get her to sign this misprint one. Next we have a Spirit Infusion Suit. Another Glistening Beach Rock. Nice! Lechuza, one of the 6. That's awesome. That will get a top loader. Let's see what the next one is. A Reverse Lady in Red, awesome. Nice little Lady in Red, reverse. There's that Batman that we saw, the Houston Batman. Forest Friends! I love this card so much. Dude, I was saying, Mary, like, it's crazy. I put all of my cards side by side, and I had a quarter or a fifth of the amount of cards that were reverse holo versus full holo. It's crazy. And I've opened like 6 booster boxes, 3 spell books,
4 or 5 release decks, a handful of blisters. Like, it's ridiculous. So we got nice little Forest Friends, another Houston Batman. Can't go wrong with that. Oh my God. You called it, CNO. You called it, CNO. Second neutrality, totality aura in this box. Whoever's getting this box by Super Galactic is getting banging cards. I need to top load this one too. That is banging. After I finished ripping the rest of the box, I went over and asked Jet if she would sign these cards, and she graciously accepted. I think Sunday might have been my favorite day at the festival. Not just because I got to talk to Jeff and give him the Mothman card, but because I got to hang out around the MetaZoo booth and actually talk to the people working there. I can't tell you how amazing it was to have a full-fledged, full-on storyline lore conversation with Bob and Texas Ted, explaining some of the theories that I had. It was one of the main highlights of the entire trip. I thanked everyone for such a great event and started the long journey home. This event was extraordinary. Not only did I get to meet people I've been talking to for months, like John, Chris, and Dee the Storyteller, we had spent the entire 2 days talking to people, introducing them to the amazing universe of MetaZoo. This festival showed me the future of MetaZoo. Regardless of what anyone says, MetaZoo is around for the long run. This weekend proved that to me. Everyone loves magic and mystery, and if you think about it, everyone has a favorite cryptid. The cryptids have become part of our own culture, part of our own personal lore, and that's the key. MetaZoo taps into that childlike wonder, the fear of the dark and unknown, but at the same time leaves you in awe at the magic and the connection to real folklore. And like Jeff, the owner of the museum, told me, I cannot wait to see the future of what's in store for MetaZoo.